I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Of the juggernaut, pig! It's not a tumor. You're tearing me apart, Lisa! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
Two tricks at the same time.
I am the law!
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win. You die.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
Welcome to your doom. Clearly, folks, I'm off my meds, and it's Tuesday night, 8 p.m., and you are listening to Geek Speak Live on Mega Powers Radio. I'm your host, Craig, and I'm joined by Travis Goss.
Not the beast! Not the beast!
And it looks like Michael Burhan is joining us.
Yeah, and I nearly killed my microphone. Whoops.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Yeah, hopefully it's alive.
Yeah.
And can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, it's alive.
All right. So tonight we got a special episode lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking about South Park, big tribute, love the show, and our actor of the week, Kevin Smith. Yay! And again, guys, we're live on Mega Powers Radio. And if you'd like to join us in our conversation, please call us at 760-512-7247. And if you'd like to email us, we are at
geeksack@megapowersradio.com.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Travis.
You're welcome.
All right. So before I start the show, I'd like to talk about. Do you guys have Androids?
I don't.
No, iPhones.
They're not the droids I'm looking for.
No.
I have an iPhone.
Oh man, stick with it. I just there was a new update on the Android, and I downloaded it, and oh my god, it deleted my free GPS and like a bunch of apps, and I'm like so annoyed because I had a class yesterday, and I found out that it deleted all these things, and I was trying to like look for it, and I'm somewhere in the middle of Poughkeepsie, and I couldn't find it because my GPS app got destroyed. But yeah, I think they're doing it so you have to pay for Verizon's or whatever navigation. That's really annoying. You guys have that problem with iPhones?
I don't really have that issue. I've got a free GPS service, which is the Google one, and the one that I have as well, which is built in, is the one from the iPhone, and it's not that bad, not amazing. It's just from things I think the best thing to do if they've deleted the free GPS that you've got synced into your phone, maybe just think about going somewhere else. Maybe use Google, because the Google GPS system ain't that bad.
Yeah, everybody says use Google Maps, but you know the Easy Navigator, that's what the app it was called. It was just so useful because it showed the paths and everything, and I don't know, like I had to like re-download everything. It was just a pain. Like if you have a choice, I'm saying don't download the new patch for the Androids. Anyway, South Park. You guys, I know Travis, you said you didn't catch the new episode. Michael, did you see the new episode of South Park?
I haven't, and that's because of the fact that most of the new episodes aren't available here yet.
Oh, really?
For Comedy Central to sort of pick them up. I'm trying to find a new website to screen American content.
Yeah.
But it is a big pain in the backside.
Oh, yeah. Did you try 2plus.me?
I've tried that, but for some reason my browser keeps saying that it's riddled with viruses.
Oh. Well, I guess, I don't know. I that's the one I use to watch all the episodes and stuff.
I mean,
it works pretty well.
Because there's a lot of content that I'm missing, like the Michael J. Fox show. I wanted to see that because I'm a huge Michael J. Fox fan. I'm probably one of the world's biggest because he's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah,
you know, and especially if you've read his book, Lucky Man, where he talks about all the crap he's gone through to get to where he is. You know, he was working a hectic schedule to the point where he, after he had the whole Parkinson's diagnosis, he
Yeah.
didn't know what to do with himself. It was kind of a shame as well. I mean, you could feel like every single emotional vibe coming from him as well, and stick with him as he grew up in, as an actor. It's a great little story to actually check out. I want to see his new show. Apparently, it's been beaten by Robin Williams' new show that he's doing now in the ratings.
What's Robin Williams' new show?
No, Robin Williams' new show, that's The Crazy Ones.
That's it.
It's with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Who's continuously trying to reinvent herself because she's Sarah Michelle Gellar and
She's Buffy.
Well, and also the fact that she's actually, Cruel Intentions, kissing another woman, even though that was badly acted. The whole thing about that and about, in general, the whole sort of sweeps thing. We've got a slew of new shows coming, loads of stuff getting cancelled at the moment as well, and I'm trying to screen as much of it as I can because a lot of it may not even debut on UK television because of the fact that it will just end up, just getting squandered because the networks don't know what they're looking for at the moment. So they'll just greenlight everything they can, hoping it's the next big hit. And, you don't have those grade A shows anymore. Like Burn Notice, for instance, was a hidden gem in terms of a show. The USA Network did it right with that. They kept it going even up to the climax. Haven't seen that as of yet. I want to check that out. And it's great things. I love TV. I'm a huge TV and film fan. Most of you guys probably know because of the stuff that I've been doing. I'm trying to open up my own production studio as we speak, and I love it. It's one of my biggest. It's my biggest pleasures in life, so to speak. And watching like guys like Michael J. Fox, I've seen him since he was Marty McFly in Back to the Future, and then watching him mature and doing his thing in Spin City as well. And when that show ended up getting cancelled when Charlie Sheen was on it and migrating over to 2.5 Men, I've seen everything, and it's nice to actually keep watching these actors for some of their hits and some of their misses.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just trying to find as much content as possible.
Right. So let's talk about your production studio. What is it you're doing with that?
It's Enigma Entertainment. The first production that we've got on as a studio at the moment is a TV show called This Job for Hire. I'm trying to get it like with Blip to actually monetize it and get the product out there. But it's a great show, and it's about an out-of-work actor who ends up getting a slew of problems ever since he gets involved with a stupid agent who has no idea what he's doing, but wants Mike as a client. And that agent's played by Brandon Ligon, former host of Geek Speak. He's doing his thing over on Dream Elite Radio with Sportaholics Anonymous. And it's... Oh, did I just freeze? Yes, I did.
Do you do a lot of comedy, or...?
Yeah, it's a great comedy show. I do serious stuff as well as an actor. It does help when you're working on so many different projects. I write, direct, produce most of my stuff. I'm looking at expanding eventually because I'm going through the whole internet wave of things. There's a network out there that distributes your stuff on Netflix, Hulu Plus and stuff, and iTunes.
You're trying to get on that?
Yeah, I'm working through them to try and get the series done in a series run on iTunes, which the only way to do that is I need to get at least 100 bits of content on that network first before I can actually do it myself. So I'm going for a third-party network. It's going to cost me a lot more, but I can get the series run on there. So I'm hoping to get This Job for Hire on there. 2 movies that I've done as well that have never been released are going to be released on there. And it's just basically a whole load of work. I also do productions for other people as well. So if you've got something like someone has a project they want me to do, they can hire us out to do that. If you've got a wedding and stuff like that, we're sort of trying to subsidize ourselves through those small little jobs to help maintain the big stuff in the studio productions.
Fantastic. We'll be looking forward to seeing a lot more of your content, Michael Burhan.
Yeah, I'm trying to integrate as many people from Fanboys Anonymous as I can to get involved in the productions. Travis was recently on episode 2 of
And that was, yep.
He played the voice of the pimp. Not the pimp, the drug dealer.
The dealer.
Oh, the dealer. I could see you doing that, Travis.
Yeah, I can. I think I did a pretty darn good job. Did a whole lot of yelling and shouting. That's something I haven't done in ages. Towards the end of the recording, my throat was so sore.
Yeah, it's the whole direction process. And the fun thing about it was we got to play about, because I had an actress I'm working with. She kind of bailed out for that episode, and because they're working for free, you can't really ask them to do one thing or another.
Yeah.
So I basically said to her, okay, no worries, we'll find another way around it. So I wrote Travis's character in, and it was sort of a last-minute improvisation where it was like, okay, why don't we do it this way and have this scenario happen? And it worked out really well. And the episode's been getting praise from everybody. It's been getting comparisons to The Office, which is a nice thing. I don't mind getting compared to Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais's one or the other one?
Ricky Gervais, Office, Extras.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has a new show that's on Netflix right now, Derek. And I think that premiered on ITV over there in UK. Can you help me out with that, Burhan?
Yeah, it has been. That one's been a bit controversial because a lot of people, he's playing a special needs person, I would say. I don't want to use the term that he used on that. And he says it's so he can highlight the trials and tribulations that these types of people go through, but also do it in such a humorous way. But people think that he's making fun of disabilities.
And he's not. He's not, because I know there are people like that in this world. That's a given and everything. But he's doing it in such a tasteful manner. And I think he's getting a lot of flack from people because, for one thing, he's a big, well-known celebrity / comedian, actor, and all that. And also with his stance on religion. I mean, he's an atheist. And it's, he's getting a lot of flack for all that kind of stuff. But I think it's because he is Ricky Gervais and he is playing this character. That's why this is such a controversial subject for him.
The thing is, though, he kind of spits in people's faces a little bit, and it's not his fault. In a sense, I think he kind of eggs people on because, he did the was it the Oscars or was it the Emmys? I think it was the Emmys.
Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, that was it. Where he did that whole thing, and he was like, "Oh, back from rehab, Robert Downey Jr." And Downey looked really pissed off, and he slated everyone. And the thing is, right, everyone got really offended by his jokes, but that's Gervais. What else are you supposed to, when you look at him, that's what he does. I knew what he was going to do before he even did it because I know the way his humor works, and it's the same way my humor works, which is basically making fun of everything and anything, but also highlighting it at the same time. You got the thing about actors, the thing about comedians, entertainers is they're all there to tell stories, and it's hilarious half the time when you see all the crap that they go through, all the heat they get just for telling a joke.
Yeah, well, I see a lot of comedians like to push the envelope on controversy, but it shows. It opens up your mind to what everybody's thinking, and it kind of shows the social commentary of how everybody really thinks about these situations, and when you put it in a satirical manner like that, people get offended, but it's really for comedy and to really make you think about it deeper, Yeah,
and the way I look at it is I'd rather hear jokes from Ricky Gervais poking fun at celebrity life than reading about in some stupid supermarket tabloid.
No, I agree. It's like a biggest example of celebrities like Kim Kardashian. She does her whole reality TV shtick. The networks pay to see her and her family,
and her big ass.
And I'm going to say this. I hope you don't get offended by it. Prostitute herself on her networks, and does this reality TV show to create controversy. You even have guys. It's spreaded so much to the point where you have like certain individuals, doing these shows to get sort of a celebrity, so to speak. And I've come into this thing as I see it as a contradiction in a sense as well, because you've got these guys out there doing everything they can to make, be made notice of and say, oh, I'm amazing because I've been on television, and that's not the way it should be. It should be like, okay, what have you done? How respected are you? And what have you done to change the medium that you're in? And Ricky Gervais is one of those people who he's changed the medium that he's in. He's changed comedy to the fact that it's not only satirical, but it's dry at the same time. And you've got, without guys like him, you probably wouldn't even have guys like Seth MacFarlane around doing, and he does sort of the same shtick, but he does it in an American way, Yeah,
it's really annoying when people like her get, all this fame and stuff. And what does she do? She's on a television show about her rich life. Like, she didn't work hard.
She made her name for herself with a sex tape.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what did you do? Oh, you had sex on camera. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then there's guys out there like you, who are working really hard to making, content and something that's actually entertaining, and it's really hard to get out there, but
Oh, the biggest thing at the moment is in the UK over here in Equity, and actors in general are getting a bee in their bonnet over certain things happening. For instance, they're saying, what we don't like is we don't like working for free. So we have a thing over here, I don't know if you have it over in the States, it's called Fringe Theatre. And Fringe Theatre is where you work for free, but you get profit at the same time. It's if the show makes money, you make money. The same goes for anything else that you've been in. If as an actor, if you do like a video, you'll do a show reel, and what will happen is the show reel that you do, the video that you do, adds up on your show reel, and it allows you to gain more footage. Now people are saying, well, no, we don't want that no more. You've got to pay us no matter what we do, which is fine, but the argument is actually killing the industry as we know it because of the way that the industry works. And the funny thing about it is I've been talking to a lot of guys who are on one side of the fence or the other. Now, the thing is, the contradictory thing is, if there's a production company who have shot a film, they've made millions over like a big budget movie that they've done, and they're not paying their actors, I agree wholeheartedly. If you don't pay your actors, then you're scum. You can't do that. But as a fringe company or as a small company attempting to make a living for yourself, and you have to barter with actors in order to get them to work in your productions, it's a bit harder. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to these sort of things. You want to know what else to do. You try to figure out how to create something without relying on other people, because now everyone's in the same frame of mind of, we want to get paid. I don't want anything else. I want to get paid for this. I need the money. I want to keep doing this, so I want you to pay me. And it's kind of destroying the industry with this debate because of the fact that everything now is about money. And it's kind of, I've always said to people, if you can't do anything, if there's something, if you're not finding work, like I'm not finding work as an actor at the moment, best thing to do is create. That's all you can do. Create something for yourself, put something together, try new things, and see how the results happen. They may vary. With Gervais, he was in the same predicament. He wasn't doing anything until he eventually started writing TV shows that were making it onto television. It's not anything to say that anybody else can't do the same thing. There are ways around it. And it kind of irks me a little bit where people have stopped doing that and started concentrating on money. If you're good at what you do, you'll shine and you'll get that money. If you're not, then you won't.
Yeah.
Simple as, But the thing about it is, you have to create. You've got to make something. Another example: Big Fat Greek Wedding. That was created out of somebody else, out of a comedian who was struggling. Jim Carrey is another person who ended up getting a film career after he nearly failed at stand-up comedy. It happens. You've just got to keep pushing the envelope. And the way things are going and the way the industry is changing, you've got to make sure that you're there when it happens. Otherwise, you're just going to be lost in the past.
Totally. The thing about Jim Carrey is, he was a struggling comedian, but he landed his break in 1984 with The Duck Factory, which was a flop. But he did smaller known movies to the point where he was noticed and became part of In Living Color, which is by far one of the best comedies of the early 90s.
Oh,
yeah, but you know how he actually got noticed? They were talking to him about becoming part of the ensemble cast, and they weren't really digging him until he came in wearing a dress.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. The guy came in wearing a dress. He was willing to put aside any seriousness he had about himself and play a character. And, as I've said, I've talked to other actors. I've worked with a lot of guys. And there's some great people out there and talented people, but there are some really stuffy people who take themselves too seriously and think, I'm never going to do this role, I'm never going to do that role. You can't be like that. You've got to look at the industry, look at the perspective, look at the way that things are changing, and try and adapt with the way that things keep changing. Otherwise, you're not going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because, even Spielberg said that the cinema, the film industry in general is dying, because people can't pay for cinema tickets anymore.
That's a good point.
I actually kind of disagree. I think entertainment does better when there's like a recession. I feel like to get away from the realities of life and a downtrodden economy, people go to movies, people go to TV shows to get away. Video games.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm at the moment, I'm sitting here playing a video game. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto Online.
And that's something you did on this past week's episode of I Got Gameplay, am I right?
Yeah. What I do is, at the moment, I spend my day sorting out production company things, Fanboys Anonymous, all my other little bits and pieces. I've managed to upload I Got Gameplay and, sort of tinker with that a little bit because there was a few changes that needed to be made to the cast before we made it live. And during the night, I just sit there and play with my games and just enjoy myself and sit here on these lovely casts like Geek Speak, talking to you great people, because in the end, this is what it's all about, sharing experiences and trying to forget about all the nastiness of the outside world.
Absolutely. Grand Theft Auto is a perfect game to get away from it all, too.
And I'm just having a blast at the moment, literally going on jobs and trying to save as much money as I can so I can buy a house in eLife.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think of the character creation in Grand Theft Auto?
It's very limited, very, very limited. And the reason being, apparently Rockstar are updating this frequently. Because before we were promised bank jobs, we could actually go into banks and rob banks and stuff. Now that's not happening, and it's due to the fact that they're not implementing that yet. They've literally surpassed a beta test and went, instead of doing a beta test, we're just going to throw this out there. Let everybody play on it, see what people think, and then we'll just get people to give us their feedback in what's happening on the Rockstar social network. And that's the best way to be, But apart from that, it's the game runs smoothly when you can get on, of course. The characters are great. I love the missions. I wish there was a lot more of it. I'm now at a level rank where I've got a guy called Mr. T asking me to. I have to go. Apparently, I've been causing so much stir that I've got to go to the guy's mansion and bring some lube, mouthwash, and knee pads.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Sounds like a very good weekend.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I figured I'd wait a week before I went online with that because there's a lot of bugs, and but I hear that they added 79 new mission types and stuff like that.
They have, yeah. There's loads of new missions. literally kind of got sidetracked from the story playing the online because online is so much fun to play. And the great thing is as well, it's like, doing these podcasts with you guys, I can interact with people over in the States, play with them, do missions with them, and not have to worry about anything else,
Yeah, but that was one of my favorite things about Xbox Live when I got it, is you can interact with so many different people that are like you from around the world, pretty much.
What I don't like at the moment, though, a lot of these things, and it's happening right now, the game in general online, unless you know people or unless there's someone with a lower level than you, you're not going to find anybody to actually try and play the game with.
Cooperate with you. They're just going to try to kill you, right?
Yeah, I've literally had guys. I did a drug mission and one guy just tried to run me over with my own car while we're in the middle of a mission. It was just like, okay. So he went and did the mission. I came and helped him out. We dropped the coke off, and then as soon as we came out of the mission, he's trying to kill me again. I was like, what the heck? It's
goddamn 12-year-olds.
Yeah, it's fun, but in the same level, it's like you really could use that extra little bit of help to get someone to help you out and do these things, because a lot of these missions are co-op, so you really need to get people in who are very like-minded as you are.
Yeah, that's why they push you to have friends on your friends list and make gangs and stuff.
Well, I've got a couple of people, and if anybody wants to join up, I'll post the link in the Geek Speak Facebook page. There's a crew that I've got going on called the I Got Gameplay crew.
Which I'm a part of.
Which Travis is a part of. And the crew itself is literally a list of who's who from the I Got Gameplay podcast. But also I'm opening up to anybody in Fanboys Anonymous, including Geek Speak Live, any guys from NPR, Mega Powers Radio. You want to join up, because you know what? At the moment, our rank is at level 14 as a group, so we are doing really well. And we've got 9 people, including myself, at the moment. And we're just making sure that we can do the missions and complete the missions and enjoy the spoils. I am sharing my money with people who do join. So if you do join up and you're just strapped for cash, Sean Walker just started the game today. He was a bit strapped for cash, so I gave him $5,000. Earned that back after a couple of missions with Shawnee, and it was fun. And it's you literally just have to look at this as a bit of fun that you enjoy with your mates, and it's a funny thing because we're going to be going on to the topic soon about local multiplayer to online multiplayer, because a lot of people have this whole thing about online multiplayer and it's killing local multiplayer altogether. But I love it because I love playing with people all around the world. I love sitting there, having the chance that I can actually play with you guys, and we're not even on the same freaking geographical part of the map, Yeah.
You're right, though, about the local multiplayer. They don't even add it in a lot of games anymore.
Yeah, it's like one of the things they did for Batman Arkham Origins was they took away the online multiplayer from it because Nintendo didn't support it. And that was a big issue, and I had a huge issue with that. And for me, in terms of gaming, you've got to look at stuff like local multiplayer and online multiplayer. There have to be options, because I love sitting down with my kids and playing tank. But I also love being in this open world that I'm playing at the moment. And it is a vastly open world. It keeps updating every single day, and playing with guys like you, where we can sit there in the same game, do a job together. I help you up your money in your bank. I'm saving at the moment, as I said, to buy my house. So once I get the house, we can all party. And it's enjoyable. It's an extremely enjoyable thing, And as someone who supports this level of multiplayer, I think it's great. But the one thing that I believe is a downside is the fact we're getting charged to do this.
Oh yeah. Like I said, some of my favorite memories of video gaming was going over to my friend's house and wasting a summer playing GoldenEye. We would just sit down in the basement for hours on end, just killing each other and getting mad at each other.
Yeah, if you talk to Tony Mango, for instance, the the man behind Fanboys Anonymous, he literally goes on about the fact that he loves GoldenEye. It's his favorite game in the world.
Yeah.
He actually stopped playing video games after that, because he got extremely busy.
There's nothing that can beat this.
I was thinking the same thing. Oh my gosh.
But he was actually looking, because he watched Grand Theft Auto 5's trailers and watched how the game developed, he's just looking at it, and I remember he gave me a shout and went, I just saw the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was like, yep. He went, that's the most amazing game I've ever seen in my life. And I've been talking to him about it, and he wants to buy an Xbox 360 or PS3 to play this game. He wants to have a look at how great this game is, because he's never had the chance to, play something like this before.
Oh, wow.
And
Tony, if you're listening, definitely buy it.
Yeah. I would as well, because it would be nice to actually play online against Tony Mango. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing, as I said, I've got a gripe with is the fact that there is a huge paywall at the moment in terms of Microsoft, and Sony are going to be implementing that with the PS4 as well. This big paywall, and to offer services such as multiplayer, which to me should be free. I don't believe that multiplayer should be chargeable at all.
Explain what that is.
Okay, basically to get Xbox Live and to play multiplayer online with your friends, like if my kids wanted to play online with me, they would have to use another gold account. So what I had to do is purchase a family gold account for myself, the kid's mum, and basically other members of my family who don't play it. So it was a waste of money for me to actually get it for them, but yeah.
How much more is the family gold plan?
The family gold plan doesn't exist anymore, but it was, you pay $60,
right,
and you get 4 accounts. So you've got a main gold account, which is my account, and I can give 4 gold accounts to whoever I wish. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be family, it could be friends, as long as they're on that plan. And what I did was I gave one to the kid's mum, one to one of my brothers, and one to another one of my brothers who, because he had an existing gold plan anyway, he managed to increase the date for when the other plan expires. And, that was all gravy. I got that. But the whole issue with it at the moment is you can't do anything without this. So if you haven't got a gold account, you can't. You expect them to play multiplayer with other people online? No, that's not happening. Play local multiplayer, which doesn't practically exist on the Xbox, unless you're playing kids games. But if you want to looking at playing someone, if I was going to play GTA Online, I would have to have a gold account. And that's the big thing here. And a lot of people are peeved about that. And I can understand why so many people bought it for PlayStation 3.
I can see that. But you know what? The PlayStation Network, although free, has a lot of issues. And I don't mind paying for a service that's never going to crash, is quick and has good connections. I
totally agree with you. And the thing is, I have to admit, it is a great service in a sense, because I played multiplayer on the PlayStation 3, and I literally just didn't enjoy it. So it wasn't as great or as vast as with the Xbox Live, because of the fact that, and I know a lot of people, PS3 fans, are going to be sitting there going, I don't know what your problem is. But I have more friends on my Xbox Live account than I do my PS3 account. And it's a service I paid for it. I didn't mind paying the one-time-off fee. But there are a few things that are a bit dodgy, like there's services that you can actually get for free on your PS3 and your Wii U, for example, that Microsoft makes you pay for, like Netflix, for instance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can't get Netflix unless you have a gold account.
Yeah, you can't even get like voice chat and stuff unless you have a gold account. And the Wii U, they have Wii Speak, which is literally like it's their version of FaceTime that you can do from tablet to tablet.
Cool.
And it's kind of funny how they can implement these fun little things, but Microsoft want us to go behind a paywall. And as I said, I'm a huge Microsoft fan, so when I criticize them, I do it out of love. I don't do it because I hate Microsoft and think they all should burn in hell. It's more the fact that out of love, I sit there and go, you know what, you guys are screwing up. It's the same way as if like yourselves or our boss, Mr. Payton, would say to one of us that we've messed up or we've done something wrong. You'd want to hear it. And with the whole Microsoft versus Sony debate, I do feel that Microsoft give us a quality product, but I don't feel that they should be hiding everything under a paywall because it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I would pay for a good service, but I think that they're holding a lot from you, and I don't think it should be that expensive either. Considering,
I think that as well. One of the reasons why I bought Family Pack is because a lot of people, you're saving on the rates. You're not paying a shed load to get the Xbox Live Gold experience, whereas with with the single rate, you're paying a hell of a lot more.
Absolutely. And what was the gamer tag for those who are listening that would like to join in your Grand Theft Auto activities? If you're a Fanboys Anonymous, if you're a patron to Geek Speak, all you have to do is I'll place it on the Geek Speak site, and it's literally the Rockstar social profile for our Grand Theft Auto crew, which is Rockstar Social /I-got-gameplay. You can also add me. My gamer tag is Speederman, and then I can add you to the group that way, which is SPEEDERMANN. That's Speederman. And it's my funny take on Spider-Man, basically. And yeah, I play all the time. Every chance I get, I sit there and give this a go because I love this game. It's one of my favorites. It's given me hours of playtime, and I'm literally still considering whether or not I'm going to actually get a PS4 on Xbox One, depending on what my finances is, but at least I have this game to tide me over in terms of game, because there's so much to do. There's a vast story on GTA 5, and with online as well, there's a huge story. You meet a lot of the GTA 5 characters who talk to you, and you learn from them, and they give you missions and stuff as well. It's brilliant. Yeah, and it's a great way to interact with the guys from your favorite podcasts and play some really awesome video games. I'm sure you guys are going to end up playing other games too with that same tag, right? Yeah, I'm up for anything. Anybody wants to play anything, just give me a shout, and I will jump online with you. The thing is as well, I do have a PSN ID if people want that as well. That's Speederman. It's all one word, SPEEDERMANN213, because certain other individuals have the same gamer tag as me. They just got that too. I tried to put that in. I thought that was your PSN account, and it was like some other kid that just joined. So you just missed out on that name. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I wanted to have the same gamer tag for everything, and it just didn't happen, and I cried. It's really hard. I just sat there like a grown man and cried like a bitch. Yeah. And if you'd like to join in our conversation, you could call us at 760-512-7247. And going back to our initial topic of South Park, and it was funny because you were saying that people are doing it for the money and stuff, and I think South Park is one of those shows that exploits that sort of thing, especially in that one episode, one of my favorite episodes. What was it? Christian Hard Rock. The episode with Faith Plus One.
I remember that.
Should we talk about who it was created by first? Because for a lot of you people who probably don't know what South Park is, it was created by two gentlemen who are actually comedy actors in their own right, who are Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Mm-hmm. And they've, for a lot of you who actually don't know, they also created like the Book of Mormon, which is an ongoing like theatre production that's happening at the moment. It's musical theatre. It's worked so well, it's getting rave reviews from all over the place. And they also were in a film called Basketball.
I was just going to say that.
I love Basketball. I still got the DVD.
Oh, it was a horrible movie.
Oh, I loved it.
It was terrible. But the thing is, it was terrible, and these guys knew it was terrible.
Yeah.
And, they're comedians in their own right, and they created this show, and the show itself is satire. They poke fun at everything and anything. They poke fun at Christianity. They poke fun...
Mormons.
It doesn't matter. Nobody,
no religion is
no
sacred
religion, no group is sacred from South Park.
In fact, it's almost a rite of passage to be satirized on South Park.
It is, but they go really far and beyond. Like that episode, Passion of the Jew, the one with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, where he shits all over the place and acts like a fucking nutcase. I love that episode.
Oh my god! But that just shows you that they'll attack religion. They don't care, and like they even said, the Passion of the Christ, that was a snuff film, and they wanted to get their money back. That was the whole premise of the episode.
Yeah, and it was literally, and he had Carmen like creating the Third Reich.
Yeah.
And he was getting people to march with him, going, "Hey." And
Revolution, say Jude enough gotten. Like marching down the street, like, oh, this is a problem.
Yeah. And he's, again, it's so funny because it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's true in a sense, but in a sense, that movie when it came out, it was this big thing, and the Christians were all going nuts about it, and like, oh, look at what happened to Jesus, and they were kind of pointing the finger at the Jews.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing. Mel Gibson was like, oh look, this is what the Jews did to our Savior, and totally avoiding what the movie was supposed to represent, which was the workings of Jesus Christ, not just his death and torture. That it's fucked up to. That's not what it's about. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm just waiting for the Passion of the Christ 2 with Chris Tucker.
Yeah, but the thing is, that was Family Guy.
He who has no sin kicks the first ass.
That's such a good show too. But I was thinking about some episodes of South Park. I had one I just thought about a few moments ago. Oh yeah, how about the death of Eric Cartman? Remember that one from season 9?
Death of Eric Cartman. I've never seen that one. What does that one entail?
Let's see here. It was episode 6 of series 9, and what happens at the beginning of the episode, the boys are waiting at Stan's house for his mom to come home with KFC, and she comes home with it, and they're excited, but says, "Can you guys help me with the groceries first? They're still in the car." I'm like, "Oh," and the mom's like, "It'll still be here when we get back." And Cartman's like, "Yeah, guys, let's go. Go get the groceries and all that." And as the boys are walking outside to the car, Cartman runs back to the table and
he eats all the chicken. He eats all the chicken skins.
And the boys are so pissed off to the point where they started crying. And they were so upset with Cartman that the next day at the bus stop, they were so talking about it. And they said, "You know what? Let's just when we see him today, just ignore him. Don't talk to him. Just completely ignore him." And Cartman comes over and is like, "Hey guys, man, that was some awesome chicken last night. Man, I sure broke the toilet last night."
They ignored him to the point where he thought he was dead.
Well, don't get too ahead of us.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, and then all of a sudden, the boys were ignoring him, and he was just like getting a little pissed off about it. And then during recess, the boys told their friends what Cartman did, and they all decided to go ahead and ignore him. And that's to the point where he started thinking, "Wait, nobody's talking to me. Am I alive? Am I dead?" And he runs home, and then he mistakenly hears the conversation between Cartman's mom and the toilet man. The plumber. Thank you, the plumber. Toilet man. Jesus Christ. But anyways, and he misunderstood the conversation they were having. So like, yeah, this thing's dead. It must have went peacefully in its sleep or something. And he thought they were talking about him. And the whole episode, he was just freaking out, like, "Oh my God, I'm dead! I've died!"
No, the best part, and one of my favorite characters, Butters. And he got Butters, like, he thought Butters was the only one who could see him because he's the only one that would talk to him.
I'm not coming.
Oh fuck! I can't do Butters' voice.
Butters and stuff.
It's hard. I think they had to take the who voiced Butters? Was it Matt Stone?
Yeah, I think they do most of the characters.
Yeah, they do all the characters, and I think they just ran them through some sort of voice augmentator, and that's how have them get to that voice level. So, but yeah, that was a great show. Burhan, do you have any favorites?
One of my favorites was when I don't know what the episode's called, but it was when Eric Cartman started singing Poker Face.
I remember that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's when Stan goes on a whole ego trip and starts like I think he's working with Greenpeace, and they start bombing like freaking oil tankers and stuff like that, like pirates. And it's just so funny. He goes, "I don't like whales, so you can go and hug a tree. I love it." And he's literally just singing like his own rendition of Poker Face. And it's hilarious because he goes like, "Poker face, poker face, na 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 na," and it's like I was literally crying with laughter.
That reminded me of when BP had the oil spill, and then they had all those commercials like, "We're sorry about we're trying to clean up the ocean," and then the South Park did that after. We're sorry, and then they're like in bed with you and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But they take it to another level. They literally, with them, it's not just satire. They literally rip the shit out of anyone and everybody. And it's like the Kanye West episode where they called him a gay fish, and they get him like singing about being a gay fish and going in the water kissing fish and stuff. And I didn't have an issue with it. For me, it's just funny. It's what it is. I had friends literally go to me, "Why do you watch that shit?" Because they mock religions. Like it's like a Joey Styles promo I always saw. He goes, "He mocks God. He mocks God," and that's what they do. They had the issue with what was the guy's name who played Chef?
Isaac
Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, yeah.
Yeah.
Still went out for him.
He was like, "This is too much."
Yeah, he quit the show after they made fun of Scientology because he's a Scientologist.
Yep.
And he was like, you don't poke fun at people. They're like, well, we're poking fun at the Christians and at the Muslims and at the Jews. Why the hell are you getting pissed off at the fact that we're taking the mick out of everybody else? It's what they do. It's their shtick in a sense.
Yeah. Scientology is another topic on its own too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a bit of fun,
Yeah.
The show itself is just a bit of fun.
One of my favorite episodes is Make Love, Not Warcraft.
Oh
Yeah. And that really shows like Matt and Trey's really love for video games. They even got Blizzard to do the animations for the Warcraft game for the episode. And it really showed like, the whole episode was like that one guy in Warcraft was just some old 40-year-old virgin just running around his level 80 character, killing them all, and the whole time they're trying to like level up and beat them, and then they all become that kid, that guy.
Yeah, because they're all like really fat and
and it shows like the extreme levels that some people can take these video games in.
It was so funny, like because like the Big Bang Theory like parodied that episode.
Yeah.
When they did the whole Age of Conan episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where what's her name?
Penny.
Penny, yeah. She literally gets really addicted to it, and then at one point, I think it was what's his name? The Jewish one, Howard, goes to her. Do you want to go for a fair pint you made him? She's like, okay, Howard. She closes the laptop and is like, I really need to go outside. And they inspired that. So you can see how much it's like they mocked pop culture, but they've become intertwined in pop culture.
They have become essentially pop culture themselves.
Yeah. And, it's all because of the fact that as a show, South Park has integrated itself.
But they do it so brilliantly, though.
Yeah.
They really look at it outside the box.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's one of the smartest shows on cable television.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't think that if you watched the first 2 seasons, though.
Well,
I think that show went through the biggest transformation ever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, but the thing is, this is what people don't understand. Comedy can be intelligent and intellectual, but if it's too smart, not everyone's going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy can also be very simplistic at the same time. Like
Toilet humor.
One of the biggest humorous duos that were integrated into society are the Three Stooges. You set them up with simple plots. You get these guys in simple situations, and they're basically using slapstick humor to set themselves up and make it fun. And that's the gag. And that's always the gag in comedy such as that. And then with everything else, everybody else started trying to copy and imitate that. Laurel and Hardy, again, they did the same sort of thing. And it was simplistic, it was funny, and it was intelligent at the same time, and everyone got it. But when comedy gets too intelligent, at times not everyone else is going to pick that gag up.
Yeah, you're going to start losing people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I was going to say, towards the argument about the first 2 seasons of the show, of course, they were just trying to, get themselves noticed and everything. And honestly, I didn't think they really needed to get noticed right away because they had such an incredible art style, making it look like it was made out of all construction paper, kind of like the pilot episode where it was just that. And then it was after that pilot where everything was done on computer and looks great. But yeah, the first 2 series, it was just them trying to, find themselves, find an audience.
Absolutely. I think they went from, just these second graders cursing and having just toilet humor to actually finding comedy out of social commentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing here. With comedy, not enough comedy does that anymore. A lot of comedy just tends to if you look on YouTube, and I'm not picking on anybody here, but if you look at guys like Smosh, for instance, their comedy doesn't actually go and look at social commentary. It's more their comedy just poo jokes.
Yeah.
Poo jokes. And being satirical as they can. Don't get me started on Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo, because I can actually sing every single bar of that.
Do it.
Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo, he loves me and I love you.
Yes.
What else are the guys supposed to do is Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo.
Oh, God.
And, you look at stuff like that, and you look at these guys who are coming out with more simplistic sort of poo-poo joke kind of comedy, and South Park's out there ripping the piss out of everybody, but in such a way that everyone understands it. Mm-hmm. If South Park does politics, you'll know what they're talking about. If South Park takes the piss out of Obama, you know that it's about something that Obama's done. They target everyone and anyone, and anybody's fair game, and that's the great thing about that show.
Absolutely. Even when they did the Prophet Muhammad, and it got so bad where they even had got threatened by Al Qaeda.
That was a great episode.
I could see them going, "We've made it now. We're being threatened by Al Qaeda."
Yeah, I could see them just high-fiving on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they give a shit, and it's the funniest thing as well. It's we live in a day and age where I'm not worried about Al Qaeda. I'm actually worried about nerds. Nerds are the worst when it comes to anything, in my opinion. They're just very angry and aggressive, and they will sit there and they will insult you and your family. And they will threaten your children. That's nerds. And it's a funny thing as well, because it's such a fun culture, but it's very much a boisterous culture.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Absolutely.
PC
gaming's better. I'm going to kill your family for playing PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Don't like what I like. Why are you liking what I like? Because I was an outcast and now all of a sudden we're cool. We're not two. You're not one of us.
You know what I call? I like to call them keyboard crusaders.
Yeah. And it literally is, and it's just so funny because I've had so many arguments with people who'd be like, you know, you don't know nothing about Spider-Man. You're not a comic book fan like I am. I was like, well, I love comics, so why can't I be a comic book fan?
You're such a poser.
You're
Yeah,
such a poser. Oh, you just ripped off of Wikipedia.
I'm expecting people to start clicking their fingers at West Side Story, and then just like doing like a weird version of ballet. Dum 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 dum. Pirouette. And it's the same with any culture, you know. As an actor myself, when I went into uni, there were some great people there, but there were some real assholes as well because they didn't want you near their personal environment. They didn't think that me being someone who's, you know, kind of fallen into acting when I was doing it, that I deserved to be in their environment. We're theatre actors. We don't want anybody who's done television. And it's hilarious and it's fun to watch as well because culture gets so intertwined into everything. And the same thing goes, like, you now have people fighting and being like freaking giving threats to each other at what the best show is. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't like South Park? Well, you know, do you like South Park or do you like The Simpsons? Well, can't I like both? No, you can't. You have to pick a side.
It's these freaking hipsters, man.
Yeah, and it's hilarious, and it begs to differ that the whole cultural aspect of things, it's gone to a sort of point now where everybody wants to be a part of something, and if you can't unless you were a diehard fan way back when you know Matt Stone and Trey Parker were doing basketball. Do you know Matt Stone's birthday? Do you know Trey Parker's birthday?
Yeah.
Do you? Huh?
You know, that's funny. I actually asked Eric Cartman when we thought about the same subject, and here's part of the interview.
That is so lame.
There you go. Because it's silly because there's that's about the Simpsons. It's choosing between the Simpsons and South Park. No, you're going to pick one side.
Oh man,
come on.
That reminds me of that one episode of South Park where the Simpsons did it, and they just, everything that Stan would come up with, they would just be behind him. Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. Like, God damn it.
That you actually bring up a good point. We all know that South Park is notorious for its humor and the way it pokes fun at pop culture and everything. One other thing that makes South Park so special is its social commentary. That's what makes it, I think, one of the smartest shows, because if you watch each episode has an underlying social commentary about what's currently going on in the world. Case in point, remember that one woman who was basically running off of machines, and they were deciding whether or not to pull the plug or anything. Same thing was done in an episode of South Park. The same situation. I forgot how that went, but the thing is that's what makes South Park so interesting, is through each circumstance.
Take itself seriously either.
Yeah, well, that's true. But it's a way that it's like if Mike, you there? Are you on? I really apologize, guys.
All right, excellent.
But let's carry on. It was again the subject of South Park, and if you guys want to phone in and let us know what you think about any of the shows, or I'm sure we're going to talk about the movie at some point, or anything related to Matt Stone and Trey Parker, give us a call at 760-512-7247.
All right, so let's talk about the new video game that they're coming out with.
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth.
That started off supposedly it was supposed to be a South Park MMO.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be like an old school RPG though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when it was made by THQ, they were going to turn it into an MMO. So it was going to be very open world, and you could play a slew of characters. and you'd be going through various scenarios. Then THQ folded,
Yes.
and it was picked up by
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
And the game now has become, as you've stated, an old school sort of type of RPG style game.
Mm-hmm. Like a turn-based style, like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But with the South Park twist, of course.
Yeah, and the great thing is they Matt Stone and Trey Parker have their hands doing everything involved in animation. I think even the new intro segments for the show, I think that's going to be in. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like kind of like. But I think they made that for the Stick of Truth. I think that's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've got the same sort of South Park intro sequences and everything in it, haven't they?
Yeah, it's going to look a whole lot better than that South Park video game that came out for the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that game was terrible.
That game was.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, they talked about it. They didn't really have their hands on it. They even said they were like, here, just make us a video game and whatever. And they basically made Turok.
Yep.
And just put South Park characters in it.
And it had the most annoying sound effects I've ever heard in a video game. Turkeys. That's all I gotta say is fucking turkeys.
Yeah. No, but this game, I think this is awesome. I think the RPG genre is perfect for telling a story like this one. And you're going to start out being the new. So and you're going to interact with all the characters and make decisions. And I think that's fantastic. And I can't wait for this game to come out. Does anybody have any idea when it's supposed to release?
Oh, no,
it was supposed to be releasing by December this year. That might have changed now because I know there's some hold-ups on the game.
Yeah,
I know
on the trailer they were like, release sometime this holiday season, or maybe. You know how the video game industry works.
That's for damn sure.
But that's the thing. Why don't we go and talk a little bit about these South Park games and stuff that was made before? Because they've had more than one South Park game made, haven't they?
Yeah,
including the god-awful racing game.
Yeah, they've had Chef's Love Shack. It was a game show, and I've had the game. And to be honest, that was a little more fun than the South Park first person, whatever the hell that was. But it's actually better if it was more than just one person playing, because since it's a game show, it's kind of like a party game. They actually had all the voices, all the voice actors in this game, and it was okay, but don't play it single player. It's really boring. Then they also had South Park Rally, which was that racing game you just mentioned just now. That was really fucking stupid.
What was that, like Mario Kart with South Park characters?
It was trying to be Mario Kart as an adventure game. It was really lame. There was no like actual set track. It was all just like this big spaghetti maze, and all you had to do is like collect this and collect that in order to get to the finish line.
I know that they released the South Park tower defense game.
That one did very well. That was an Xbox Live exclusive.
Yeah, I mean those games are fun. Yeah, I think the only worthwhile game that they're ever made or like is going to make actually is the Stick of Truth. Honestly, the rest of them seem like crap.
They were. Those games suffered the same.
Taking the license and giving it to God knows whoever.
It was the same way with The Simpsons through the years when they had really shitty games until they finally got that one that said, "Yeah, finally we got a perfect formula."
Well, they released a game kind of recently. I think last year, Tannerman's Revenge, from the Tannerman episode where Cartman made him eat his parents.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. I never played it. I never played any of these games really, though. I mean, if you guys have anything to say about them, go ahead, because I stay clear away from those things.
How about that, audience? Do you have something you'd like to say about that? Just give us a call at 760-512-7247. Have you played any of the South Park games? Have you played Tenement's Revenge? Let us know what you think. Give us a call.
Yeah, if you want to, like, donate a copy of one of these games, feel free.
Yeah, donate a copy so that way I can try it out on the upcoming
rose-colored reviews.
Yes,
guy. Yep.
I couldn't say the damn words tonight. I need more soda. Need sugar.
And we need to move on to our actor of the week.
Da, da, da.
Kevin Smith. Da, da, da.
That should be the intro for the segment.
Of the week. He's an actor, director, writer, producer of the week.
Yeah.
Fried chicken lover.
He's one of my favorite writers.
And non-plane rider.
Yeah.
I got that.
It's funny. I just watched Jersey Girl the other night, and I know you.
I love that film.
Yeah, I was expecting kind of a lighthearted comedy, like chick flick-ish, Ben Affleck movie. No, this is a really sad movie.
Yeah, his wife dies, for God's sake.
I did not see it coming.
Smith movie. It's like it's a dad movie. It's a movie about someone who has to take the reins, try and be a dad, and tries to move on with his life after his wife basically drastically passes on. And it was the best scene I've ever seen J-Lo in, because I've always wanted to see her killed off in something.
Yeah, her dying. That was the best scene you've ever seen her in, huh?
This is what happens when you make a movie called Jiggly.
Yeah, Jiggly. This is what happens when you make Jiggly, bitch.
I was thinking that she was a really bad actress, and I'm glad they killed her off. But it was really sad the way they did it.
Yeah, she had the baby, and then she just basically died.
Yeah, I was. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was a great setup for the movie itself to basically see how Ben Affleck's character progresses, and the thing is, you look at that and you look at the way that the whole movie worked, and it was brilliant. You had some fun little Kevin Smith undertones. Like, there was a bit where he was watching a movie and he was going to masturbate to this movie, and his daughter comes into the room, and he's like, she goes, "What are you watching?" Nothing. And it's all fun and games. It was sort of like one of those things where you...
It is, and then it isn't, because, in the beginning, he's so distraught over his wife's death, and he's just a terrible father. He's trying to get his father to take care of the kid. He's, ignoring her. She's crying. He's just so wrapped up in his job. And even when he, because eventually he quits that line of work, and he invests all of his time into his daughter. But even they get in an argument down the line, and when he gets back into his work, and he's like, you ruined my life, and you and your mother totally ruined everything, and it's just really heart-wrenching to see that, and it's a bit of reality. That's how the real world is, kind of, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, no, that's the thing as well. It's I'm one person. I had to put a lot of my career on hold to raise my children, and I raised my two daughters before I decided to make the effort and go to university to try and learn something new and dedicate myself to my career. Mm-hmm. And my estranged wife, the kid's mum, she had a huge burden with these kids. She had to literally take care of them, and she had her own kind of mental issues going on at the time, and it changed everything. There were times where I sat there and I had this crying baby next to me thinking, what the hell have I done? But everything outweighs, there's a great goodness that's outweighed everything in it, because I've got these 4 beautiful children who I love dearly with all my heart. You have those heart-wrenching moments. You have those moments where you feel like you want to throw the kid out the window. Please don't call social services. But as a parent, you have to understand these things and come to terms with them and say, you know what? I need to make sure that this little person has a better life than I had.
Yeah, and there's a great deal of responsibility there. And even if it's like between making millions of dollars and just making enough to survive, but being there for your kid, you gotta make these decisions.
And that's this whole scenario in this film was like, you can live and build a life for yourself with your daughter, and who was Liv Tyler, swing, live your life just being this multi-millionaire and give everything that you built up for yourself up, and go back to what you did before, neglecting your child and neglecting your entire family. And the fun thing as well, there's a nice little cameo from Will Smith in it, where he goes, sometimes I feel like I just want to be at home playing with my kid in the dirt.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the truth. I feel, most of the time I feel like slacking off and just sitting down and playing games with my kids and enjoying myself with my children, rather than working and trying to build a future for myself, because their life is awesome. All they get to do is they go to school and they have to learn stuff, but they also, when you're at home, they can just relax and play with you and enjoy themselves and go to the park and play in the mud, so to speak. And that was Kevin Smith's way of establishing that and talking about the situations that he had as a father. It was his father movie for dads, by dads, and that's the thing. And I don't think people got that. They were expecting another titty pooper movie, and then when Kevin Smith went back to it, it kind of got lost on everyone, because, oh God, he's going back to the same thing again. And it kind of destroyed everything that he'd built up, which was kind of sad.
I think it's a brilliant movie, honestly.
He's a brilliant filmmaker because he understands, he takes life and he creates. He takes everything that matters to him and situations that have happened to him, and he makes these awesome movies.
Absolutely.
I wish he actually did The Death and Life of Superman. I would have loved to have Kevin Smith direct and write and produce The Death and Life of Superman, because that needed to happen. At one point, that was a big thing. DC killed this fucking guy off. This indestructible Man of Steel. They killed this guy off, and it was the big thing at the time. I remember crying after reading the books and as a kid and thinking, this guy was indestructible. He was supposed to be this super alien, And what did they do? They killed him off, and Smith was going to highlight that. And because of the foray, the amount of people who loved this character and wanted to see him come back, they brought him back, which was great. But they wanted to also talk about this in the movie aspect of it, and I think it would have been a great way to introduce the character to the world. But instead, they decided, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to cast Nicolas Cage as Superman with Tim Burton directing. And I don't know what the fuck. Did you see the costume he was wearing? There was one with him in a normal Superman costume, and another one with him in something that looked like it was made by a kid.
Yeah, that didn't fit at all.
It was terrible.
He should be a little slimmer to fit in that costume, and put on some, muscles.
Yeah, but back to Jersey Girl. I think every representation of his family was perfectly implemented in this, especially his father, the grandfather, played by George Carlin. A fantastic role right there, and as a comedian, he just lent that perfect comedic side character, and he really pushing his son to be a better dad.
Yeah, because he was watching his son suffer, and he knew that his son was suffering, but he also knew that there's a small child here who just wanted her daddy. She didn't want anything else. She didn't want money. She didn't want nice things. She just wanted her daddy. And he couldn't get himself out of his own depression, out of his own issues, because he just didn't know how to live without this person that he was in love with. The one woman who made him happy, that he was going to build this family around. But in the end, George Carlin's character, he didn't want to be alone either.
You know,
Yeah.
his family is all he had.
Because he shared so much with his son, he shared so much with his family because they went through this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Fantastic movie. If you guys haven't checked it out, Jersey Girl, definitely an awesome movie. Don't expect a lighthearted comedy or a
the Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like anything else he wrote, or
But
it's not comic booky. It's very, it's unlike all of his other films, but it's very good. It shows his diversity in screenwriting.
Yeah.
Definitely, and this is what people don't understand as well. It's like they expect. It's like Judd Apatow, for instance. Everyone expects Judd Apatow to pull out another movie like Knocked Up.
Mhm.
The problem is with people, you see them grow. It's not a bad thing. You're going to see these guys grow. A great director will always grow. They won't go to the same mechanics. They won't go to the same thing that made them famous. They will basically be as diverse as possible because they want to show you what they have inside their head. They want to create something and make something that sets it apart from the other film, but you can show there's a few sort of nods to that genre from before. Like Francis Ford Coppola, for instance, one movie was never the same with that guy.
No.
If you look at another one, I'm trying to think who else in terms of filmmaking. Oh, Spielberg. Spielberg's another guy. Before he was doing biopics on dead presidents, he was doing E.T. He directed the Indiana Jones movies. This is who this guy was. And before that, he was doing daytime television. TV shows that had fat women in them explaining about melodramas. And that shows you how people can evolve. And Jaws, there's another one. It's just funny how you go through all these things and you can see a director's body of work and look at how amazing someone can be.
Yeah, well, like with Kevin Smith, he directs his movies through and writes his movies through his life experiences. Like Chasing Amy was, kind of about his experience with the girl that he used to, be in love with.
We've all been there. We all can empathize with Smith in that effect because I know there's been more than one occasion with me where I've been in love with someone and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with that person that hasn't been reciprocated. And you would chase down the world trying to find this person.
Yeah.
Because they mean the world to you. And it's a funny thing as well. And that when you look at those aspects, when you look at those types of characters and the way that they develop, you can see a lot of Smith in them. You can see a lot of him in the Mallrats, in Chasing Amy.
Oh my God!
Jay and Silent Bob. It's what makes him who he is.
And he's the king of writing dialogue. I think, especially in Mallrats. Yeah. The movie opens up with this line: "One time, my cousin Walter got his cat stuck in his ass. True story. He bought it at our local mall. So the whole fiasco wound up on the news. It was embarrassing for me, my relatives and all. But the next week, he did it again. Different cat, same results. Complete with another trip to the emergency room. So I run into him a week later at the mall, and he was buying another cat. And I said to him, Jesus, Walt, what are you doing? You know you're just going to get this cat stuck in your ass, too. Why don't you knock it off? And he said to me, Brody, how the hell else am I going to get this gerbil out? My cousin was a weird guy." And that's the start of Mallrats.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's just, it's all dialogue and between these two friends, and it explains it throughout this whole movie, and all the other characters are just like, passers-by.
Yeah. That's one of the coolest things. I mean, that was part of what was called the View Askew-universe. It started out as a New Jersey trilogy, I think. No, it was or something like that. But anyways, then expanded out to 2 films extra. Let's start at the beginning. It came out with Clerks in '94, and then I think it was a year later we had Mallrats, and then Chasing Amy. Dogma was the next one, and there was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Those are the 5 movies in the View and Schooniverse, because for some reason they all seem to intertwine in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they're all in the same like that. It's like the movies, like all these movies are like part of like these cult classics.
Yeah,
you know, they're all like one. They're all intertwined into like one story, and it's really like Kevin Smith's experiences.
And
you know, with Jay and Silent Bob, it's like his outlook of like comic book characters. Like they're very cartoonish, you know. Like in Mallrats, like they have these guys. They're like supposed to be like superheroes doing all these things to try to like help them get on the game show, you know.
That's true. Oh my gosh!
And the funny thing is, you actually see a lot of the characters from that movie actually go into Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's all intertwined. And that's the great thing about the View of the Skewverse. It's about a great thing about Kevin Smith. He always manages to tie everything up together, which is great. You know, in a very unconventional way, of course, but he does. He has a great methodology behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about Clerks too. Like,
oh, I love Clerks.
I mean, it's just we've all had jobs like that, you know. Like, if you work at like these places, you know exactly what they're talking about. You know exactly what it's like.
It's dealing with all these freaks basically that come into the business. You're standing there, you're serving them, and they're just a bunch. It's like a nonstop freak show from the moment the doors open to the minute they close.
Yeah, and then the people think you're weird, but like that's your life, you know, that's part of your life. And like why are these people acting like this? Well, you know, that's what they do day in and day out. That's the people they know. That's what they know. You know, they own that place and they don't really own it, but you know, they're the ones that are there all the time.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about it when it comes to scenarios like that. You look at these characters and you look at the way that they develop.
Yeah.
And you try to find new, you know, he finds new and silly ways to interact with these characters because they are pretty much like real life. Everyone in real life, if you've ever seen a person, they could be your best friend, they could be your colleague. They have fun little, you know, little things about them, little nouveau things. And that's what makes them who they are. You know, and the great thing, as you said, he talks about his life and the way that he does things and people that he's met down the road.
And okay. While we're on the subject of Clerks, what did you guys? Were there any like? What were some of your favorite characters that walked into the convenience store?
Geez, I don't know. What were your favorite ones?
Oh, bounce it right back to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce that right back.
I think it's I would have to definitely say like the many characters that Walter Flanagan played in there. He played like 4 different customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was that one I'll never forget is the scene where Randall was talking to Dante about this the nudie booth.
Mm-hmm.
Never come back to this place using filthy language like that. You should both be fired. Because we think that's offensive. Check this out. It shows him a porno mag where they show the woman's clitoris. But of course, the best part of Clerks is definitely 37. Remember that? The conversation between Dante and his girlfriend?
Oh, man. Hey, man.
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh my gosh, go back and watch Clerks. I'm not going to say any more.
Oh yeah, I definitely. I try to watch a bunch of these movies again. Clerks was one of the ones I skipped on.
Yeah, just think of I'm just going to tell you the number 37. That's all I'm going to say. And if anybody out there knows what I'm talking about and want to talk about it here on the show, you know, hey, let's get back.
I also, it's one of my favorite movies. I love Dogma. I know a lot of people don't like that movie as much.
I love it too.
I love Dogma. I think it's an awesome representation of religion.
So it definitely is. Because basically that whole movie. Yeah. Let's just continue on. We'll talk about like one more Kevin Smith movie, then we'll do plugs. How about that? Does that sound like a good idea?
Does, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last memories about Dogma, then we'll move on to another Kevin Smith movie. I was hoping that having that open for anybody to discuss. But no, I think this. I knew it was going into a really cool film when they started about talking about the platypus there at the beginning of the movie. It's like, that was so out of place. Which is, I guess, one of the things about Kevin Smith is, yeah, in any subject, I mean, in any of his movies, at least in those 5 films, they'll just attach a completely random subject and have nothing to do with the story, and it happens to be one of the most memorable parts of the film. That's the way I look at his movies.
Yeah, things that weren't really supposed to be looked at like that end up being the most memorable things.
Exactly.
And it's like that. It's like every one of them too. You know, he also wrote a Zack and Miri make a porno. Did you know that?
I've seen it. It's really
and he also wrote like Clerks 2. It was the thing about Zack and Miri made a porno. It was great. His movies, and instead of people migrating over to understanding what Kevin Smith was doing best, they sat there and went, "Oh, look, Judd Apatow did that, and and he did that better, and he did Knocked Up, and it wasn't as smarmy as Zack and Miri made a porno."
But at the same time, people have to understand that this is how Kevin Smith writes. I mean, he's not going to be like Judd Apatow or anybody else of that caliber. I mean, he does his own thing. He has his own audience. Granted, there might be some who are also fans of Judd Apatow's, and maybe they want to go ahead and make comparisons. But at the same time, Kevin Smith has his own style, and I just think he does it better. Of course, I'm biased because I'm a bigger fan of his.
You know what? I really like Seth Rogen a lot because he's really into the filmmaking aspect of things, and that really shows in this movie because it really shows how much he loves just making movies, whether it be a regular movie or a porno, Mm-hmm. And he really takes great care in actually making a script. Like what was it, Star Wars? Star Wars. What was the name of the movie that they were writing in that?
Yeah, it was Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
And they were using like a normal film camera. They got a set together. They were making it really big budget, and it was extremely funny as well because what they were doing was they were trying to get themselves out of the situation that they were in, where they barely had any money. They couldn't pay the bills. And it started turning from a porno movie into like a movie about friendship,
mm-hmm.
in a sense. And all these people. You had Kevin Smith's best bud in there as well, who was playing the kind of gay porno star.
Oh, Jason Mewes.
Yeah, I love the bit where he's holding. He goes like he's holding his hand. He goes, "I'll put my hand on your hand, and you put your hand on mine, and I'm jerking my dick."
Okay, folks. Again, I apologize about that. Hopefully we're back on. A lot of technical problems this evening. But if you're listening, thank you for sticking with us. And I think it's only fair, since we've got like a few minutes left of this show, I think it's safe to say that Kevin Smith is one of the best damn directors in the world. Am I right in that assumption?
Yeah, I would say you're definitely right in that assumption. Is Michael Burhan coming back with us, or?
I'm trying to get him back on, so. But I'll tell you what, since we only got like a few minutes left, just quickly name like your favorite Kevin Smith movie of all of them.
Man, I would have to say Mallrats. Mallrats my favorite.
I would have to say the same, because that was definitely. There's no words. It's just fucking good. Plain and simple. But anyways,
it's the perfect meld of social commentary, dialogue, storytelling, and like geek love.
Not only that, he has some of the most memorable characters in any Kevin Smith movie, apart from what it was in Clerks.
Yeah,
or
plus
Clerks 2.
Plus, Stan Lee's in it.
So so there you go. All right, trying to get Burhan back in, but as we're waiting, let's just go ahead and get Slugs out of the way. Craig, would you like to do the honors?
I would like to just plug the Geek Speak live show. You know, we're live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Mega Powers Radio. Please tune in at megapowersradio.com. You can also find archived episodes on youtube.com/megapowersradio and fanboysanonymous.com. You can contact us at facebook.com/geekspeaklive or email us at thegeeksack@megapowersradio.com. Travis, would you like to plug anything today?
Yes, I would. In fact, I'd like to plug my YouTube show. It's Rose Colored Reviews, the show where I take a look at classic video games, television shows, and movies, and through rose-colored lenses, I see if they still stand the test of time. And when I say rose-colored lenses, I mean my regular glasses, because I have yet to get any rose-colored lenses. But anyway, this past weekend I released a new episode where I talk all about the Super Nintendo classic Star Fox. And you can check that at www.youtube.com/rose-colored-reviews. And as a special treat, next week I will release my very first Let's Play video on a new channel on YouTube, and it's www.youtube.com/rose-colored-let's-play.
And what game would that be?
The very first game I'm putting up there for the LP is going to be the Sega CD Classic and a very personal favorite, Sewer Shark.
Classic, huh?
You
and I see things very differently on that game.
Well, when I play the game, I'm going to actually share some fond memories of that with you, like I usually do on my YouTube show. And it's actually the best-selling, believe it or not, that's the best-selling Sega CD game, because it came with every single Sega CD system when they came out with like version 2 of the system.
Yeah, so if you had a Sega CD, you had to have played that game.
And if you want, actually, Spoonie has an awesome review about it. It's so funny. I know a lot of people hate the game, but I love it. Maybe I'm just a weird guy, but I love the game. Anyways, that's going to be coming at you next week on the new YouTube channel that I just launched. And also, if you are wanting to be a fan of Rose Colored Reviews, we have a Facebook page, and that's at www.facebook.com/rosecoloredreviews. Mm-hmm. And if you want to contact me on Twitter, it is my handle is TravisGoss79. And if you want to send me an email, it's travis.goss@megapowersradio.com. And the next, I haven't decided what I'm going to do for another review for my show, but I will definitely post something about it here real soon. And also, I'm a co-host on the Saturday night show with Michael Burhan. That's I Got Gameplay, and that's Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And if you guys want to call us when we have our live shows that day, or anything that's on Mega Powers Radio, give us a call at 760-512-7247.
And Michael, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, excellent. You have anything you'd like to plug tonight?
Well, Travis plugged I Got Gameplay. Also check out episode 2 of This Job for Hire, which is called The Interview. It's a fun little episode starring myself, Sean Oxenham, Sean Walker, Travis Goss, Nikki Mills, and of course Brandon Ligon as the agent. It's a great episode, great series as well, and I'm looking at doing a few more of those. check out Enigma Entertainment. We're going to have a Facebook page up and running soon. The site's under redevelopment. I have someone personally working on it, which is great. I'm paying a guy to do so. Also, if you need, I feel someone to actually help you out with your intro reel show, reel YouTube channel, or basically do a bit of filming for you, just keep Enigma Entertainment into mind. Our rates are very competitive. We only do in the UK at the moment. We're looking to do something as in the Kickstarter to help us broaden ourselves up and actually bring our services over to the US. So there you go, guys, and that's enough from me. Fanboysanonymous.com, of course, Mega Powers Radio. Check out the Daceman Show, I Got Gameplay, Otaku Nation, the Monday Night Raw Post Show, and of course everything else that we can bring to you. It's great being on this network. It's great having you guys listening on the show, even though we are getting a few technical problems.
Yes. Oh, and before we go, Michael Burhand, we talked about this and we're trying to get you back on. Quickly, what's your favorite Kevin Smith movie?
Favorite Kevin Smith movie has to be Dogma.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening this week. We apologize for all the problems we've had. Usually it happens in the second half of the show for some reason, but we're still in infancy and we're still trying to get things ironed out. So there you go.
All right. Thank you for listening. We're live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Remember, you could call us in our live show, or if you'd like to email us, you can email us at geeksec@megapowersradio.com. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a good night.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble.
I'm going to make him an offer, Captain.
Of the juggernaut, pig! It's not a tumor. You're tearing me apart, Lisa! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
Two chicks at the same time.
I am the law!
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win. You die.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!